Yeah, so weeds that are already emerged, they've already sprouted, they're up. You've got a number of choices. I suppose none of them are great. You can mow them and just whack them down and live with, the green, stubble. You can sickle them. You can weed whack them. You can do all that. Just what you want to do is not let them go to seed, because once they're going to start, the ones that have come up and are starting to get big are going to seed out. Then you're stuck with seed that's there for the next year or the year after,
Well, and the seeds can live years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's the main thing. Whatever you do, remove the plant in some form or fashion to eliminate them from going to seed. Then
And the seed can live through a goat's digestion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We use goats for weed control in a lot of applications, but just because they eat it doesn't mean the seed's gone. It can harbor in that like confetti.
Just some guy the other day says, I'm out in the desert and there's Bermuda grass growing. I'm like, yeah, because some rancher fed some hay to some cows or horses that had some Bermuda grass in it, So seeds, yeah, eliminate it if you can quickly before it goes to seed. Then you got a choice of, whether you pull them, hula hoe them, grub them out, whatever you do. If you let weeds get big, you're stuck with, even if you spray them and kill them, then you got big dead weeds. So ultimately, don't let them get big. It takes a lot less, if you're going to use chemical sprays, it takes a lot less spray and a lot less coverage to kill them when they're first coming up than once they get big.
And that's the only time I'll use chemical is when they're really tiny. Because just like you said, it's such a small amount, such a small application. When they're gigantic and you got to sit there and spray every leaf, I'm like, that's too much for me.
And now we're talking about weeds in open areas, not by your vegetable garden, not by a runoff area or whatever. Don't get all excited about us, And if you want, there are organic herbicides, and they're getting more popular and they're getting better. And that's certainly an option to look at, is to using an organic herbicide. And they work fine. They work great. If you want to get exercisers, there's no better exercise than getting out there and stooping over and pulling weeds for an hour or two.
And it's easier now when it's wet.
And now's a great time to do it.
I know one weed we need to look out for because it's it's a non-native weed, but people were complaining about the yellow ball weed last year.
Oh, the stink. The stink net.
And that's going to grow back, I'm pretty sure, with all the rain we have.
Yeah. And that's usually a spring occurrence.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see that coming now. Well, if we keep having rains through going into winter, it'll get really bad.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't complain about rain through the winter.
Oh, no, we need it. We need it bad. We need it bad, bad, bad. We need snow. We need rain. We need a wet winter, and keep your fingers crossed. But all that being said, if you want to prevent all of that from happening, an application of a pre-emergent herbicide, especially in your rocky desert areas that are harder to weed, spring and fall. So if you'd have put it down like we recommend the first day of fall, September 22nd, you'd have been perfect ahead of these 2 or 3 rain events that we had. And then again, in March or so. But
like 90% of us, we didn't, or we weren't prepared, or whatever the case.
Yeah.
What pre-emergent products do you like?
Because I think the worst weed out there is one we didn't talk about. It's a summer weed called spurge. And I mean, it's everywhere. It's not as noticeable as the stinkweed, but it's very prolific. It comes up and it almost has seed on it immediately. If you have a lawn, it's a really big problem.
And that's one of the hardest things I have. Like when it's in the lawn, take a plastic bag out there and set it down and pull it onto the plastic bag. Right. And still, I know there's probably dozens of seeds that have still fallen off in the lawn.
But there is a pre-emergent called Dimension. That's the brand name. That's not the chemical name. And Dimension is pretty effective on spurge. So that would be my first suggestion. There's lots of them out there. None of them are hard to do, but you have to water them in. And that's why it's nice to get them on before a rain.
And that's the hard thing for me is with our property, watering in that amount. It's not like we're dealing with a couple hundred square feet. So that's one reason why I'll almost never get the pre-emergent done. I have it in storage, dry, but I don't want to waste all that product.
Yeah.
And I don't have the ability to water, 5 acres with a garden hose.
See, Mr. Chance. What you're telling me is you
Goat,
your chain.
sickle,
Yeah.
torch. And that is one thing about the torch is if it's not in the lawn and you're burning it, you can burn up the seed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also burns. So if you spray them and kill them, and as you said, you still got big stuff. The burning at least gets rid of all of it. You don't have any debris. Once it's dead, then you got, okay, now I got a big forest of dead weeds out there. I got to go rake up or, bag up or whatever you got to do to them. So burning them be more fun too. It's got to be the funner. It's got to be the funnest option is going around with the flamethrower.
Even my kids will come in like, can I have that for a little while?
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah. No, exactly.